Next, this to wake up Africa. We are therefore saying that the wrath of the gods, the wrath of the African gods await us if we do not wake up as Africans. If we do not wake up and embrace that which truly is ours. And that is why Botake paints a very serious story in jest. As if he's playing, but he's very serious. The sacrifice, the failure of the villagers to render the sacrifice to let God led to their calamity. And only a few survivors were left to tell the story and to tell us that we should wake up as Africa. And who are the survivors? We seated here are the survivors. We seated here are the message bearer to carry it along. Good. Therefore, to conclude, the Wake Up Africa message. So this book is not a rejection of Christianity or modernity. Yes, it is not. Rather, it is a call for balance. It is a call for balance. So the author's message can be summarized in 4 points. Wake up to our history. Wake up to our culture. Wake up to our identity. Wake up to self-confidence. And that self-confidence is the self-confidence is to see ourselves as Africans. And that is why I will conclude by inviting us to at least read some of the selection that Wole Soyinka brought up in Poems of Black Africa. And reading some of these poems, one of the reasons that made me to start reasoning in a Pan-Africanist viewpoint was the works of Wole Soyinka in that collection, in that anthology. Yes, it's a powerful one. So this is the end of my presentation. I would not like to take much of our time, but this is all about the African culture made barren. And if we do not want this culture to remain barren, we should stand up and stick to the word that reads on our agenda, Wake Up Africa. Thanks. I remain
What are some of the titles of your books?
All right. Real quick, let me start with this one. I grew up from Noni, and one of the things that made me understood that literature is what we live was the works of Bole Botake. And this is my very first play that I published, Tension Across Kimbi. It is dedicated to Professor Emeritus Bole Botake. It is a play. It is a play. So I also took what I lived when I was a child and I painted here. I wrote this when I was in lower 6. I wrote it on pieces of paper, but I was scared to publish it because I was afraid of public criticism. You know, there are critics, they read and criticize, but when I met people who read the book, they told me that no, it is good. Why not go for a publication? And there we had this. Yes, I published this in when I was in level 2 or so. Yes. And then back then I was a literature teacher, but when I joined the legal profession, I wanted something that would reflect my background. So I brought up the Judge's Dilemma. So the Judge's Dilemma happens to be one of my most popular book. The book had a review on CRTV, yes, there was a lot on CRTV and CRTV radio and CRTV television. Yes. So this one, I call it a legal literature. It mirrors the legal profession mixed with a storytelling for people to maybe interrelate and understand. So it is not purely a legal text. It's a legal literature. It's also a story. And then here I have the Sacred Leaf. Now the Sacred Leaf is dedicated to the Prof. Fru Angwafo III of the Regional House of Assembly. And that is why in this book you have the intricate carvings that, I don't know if you have visited the regional house, you might have seen, okay, there are some carvings like this, yes. So I got these images and I dedicated to him because when I entered that house, maybe the painter, the designer, or the artist, yes, who brought out those carvings, he was just doing that out of his personal initiative, but I interpreted it differently. And I termed it the Sacred Leaf, a journey of peace in Abakwa. Yes. So I met him in his office and he said, wow, this is interesting. Because I took all the images and I brought up some stories about it and attached some questions to it. Yes. So that is it. So this is the Sacred Leaf. Yes, so the other text, I have some other unpublished books, but I will not mention. I will not make mention of that. But the last one is an anthology. Yes, it's an anthology that centers on poems from Noni. So it is called Noni Original Extract. That was the dream of